Hi fellow shikikans, this is Hurricane. I received quite a number of questions from you. So I decided to make a lengthy episode. Let's get right to it. Question by Satan say first. Why did Zeppy love the world, but Graf Zeppelin hated? This is a good question. I think the reason why Graf Zeppelin despised the world is because of her tragic past. Graf Zeppelin was not completed and was never operational due to shifting construction priorities necessitated by the war. She was also scuttled outside Stettin in March 1945. Then in the next year, she was raised by the Soviet Union, but in the end, she was ultimately sunk in weapons tests months later. And those unfortunate experiences could be the reasons why she hates the world. But what about Zeppy? The probable reasons as to why Zeppy loves it. Zeppy is probably the manifestation of Graf Zeppelin if she was ever being completed. That's why she's showing positive outlook, which is the opposite of Graf Zeppelin. Question by Bismarck 1941. Why does Shinano always dream of different universe? Shinano's partially complete hull was ordered to be converted to an aircraft carrier. Following Japan's disastrous loss of 4 of her original 6 fleet carriers at the Battle of Midway in mid-1942. The advanced state of her construction prevented her conversion into a fleet carrier, so the IJN decided to convert her into a carrier that supported other carriers. But her conversion was still not finished in November 1944, then 10 days after commissioning, she was sunk en route by 4 torpedoes from the US Navy submarine Archerfish. With over 1,000 casualties, she remains the largest warship ever sunk by a submarine. With that unfortunate fate, probably her dream of another universe is where she is successfully completed and fulfill her duties and expectations during that war.
私が見た夢。糸を忘れまほしき悲しさ。永遠に溺れまほしき喜び。はあ、現実も無限のごとく。そなたが果たしてまことなりや。
The question by Cluttercloud 069. I have one question. Why Kongou was different from her sisters? Ichiha Percy replied, because Kongou was built in Britain. This is true. Her designer was the British naval engineer George Thurston. She was laid down in 1911 at Barrow-in-Furness in Britain by Vickers Shipbuilding Company. She was ordered in the Japanese Emergency Naval Expansion Bill. Therefore her character design is the same with the Royal Navy ships. Question by Frederick Wong. Why is Hamman so close with Yorktown? And why is Murmansk so frickin' cute? Bismarck 1941 replied, one of the reason might be because both served together in the same Pacific group and sank together at Midway. This is true. They sortied with each other in the past. USS Hamman is the one that had been providing auxiliary power to Yorktown during that war. Also, when Yorktown was heavily damaged and was announced to be abandoned, Hamman was the one who retrieved the captain and some of Yorktown's crew. But in the end, Hamman sunk as well. And that time both of them shared the same fate. Why is Murmansk cute? Because Murmansk is the textbook definition of cuteness. She was born cute. By the way, shout out to her artist. All of his characters are in my waifu list. Question by N1TR3. Who is one of my top commenters? Why does Cleveland always say Knights of Seas? There were 2 probable references for this one. First, the Cleveland-class ships were designed with the goal of increased cruising range, anti-aircraft armament, torpedo protection, etc., compared with earlier US cruisers. And the second reference is, they served mainly in the Pacific Fleet during World War II, especially in the Fast Carrier Task Force. The task force was the main striking force of the United States Navy during that war. Also specifically, Cleveland's first mission was with the task force to guard a troop to convoy to Guadalcanal. And she also engaged in several battles during the war. Therefore, she compared her class as the Knights of Seas.
はじめまして、指揮官。私はクリーブランド、海上の騎士だ。時は金なり。さあ、休んでる暇はないぞ。
Question by Neil Nothing. Why is Roon a psychopath? Ima Popo replied. She never existed, so she has no history, making her a bit of a blank slate in terms of personality. This is true. There would be no historical reference for this one. But maybe someday in her secretary quest could reveal the reason. Or probably, her desperate personality has been manifested as a result of not being constructed.
指揮官と一緒にいると戦場で敵を殺すより充実感を感じる。これは愛の力ですか？でも
Question by Mr. Sponsor. Why Essex has a lot of memes? Essex is the meme herself. All of her expressions can be used in any meme. Question by Ryanrup Sylvester. Why every Shikikan called Akashi, scammer cat? I guess we already know the answer to this one, and we always experience it. But seriously, I think this is reference to the RNG in the game, and there's also an official loading screen about it. But this is just a meme, because fun fact. Azur Lane is the most generous gacha game. Question by C10 Noob World. Why does Admiral Hipper does not resemble Prinz Eugen and her sisters? I think this is a similar question as to why Admiral Hipper is flat. The only flat in her class. You can check it out on the fun facts about the Hipper class episode. Question by Steve Wolcott. Who is very curious. Still interested to know why is vampire so pantsu addicted. Some of Vampire's lines are really funny, which is about showing her pantsu to the commander.
私は V 級駆逐艦のヴァンパイア。汝の鮮血、美味しそうだわ。そういえば、汝はそんなにこれをじーっと見つめるのが好きなの？
I think the reference for this one is, after she had repairs in Alexandria, Vampire resumed escort and patrol duties, and on several occasions she was unsuccessfully used in attempts to lure the Italian fleet to where they could be engaged by the Allies. This could be the manifestation onto why Vampire keeps teasing the commander with her pantsus.
今日はどんな色のを履いているか知りたい？
Would love to know more about Laffey. I heard her crew was up to some crazy stuff. I want to know why is Laffey alcoholic. These questions are already answered in our first fun facts videos. Check it out in our playlist. Question by Andre Silva. Why does Queen Elizabeth and Warspite battleships look like loli while other battleships are huge in all respects? Great question. But I think I'll include the answer to this one in the full episode of the fun facts about the Queen Elizabeth class ships. By the way, you can vote for your favorite ship for the next episodes in our polls. Drop your random Azur Lane questions and be featured. By the way, shout out to the fellow Shikikans who were a long-time supporter of the channel and also top commenters who made the channel alive. Thank you for the love and support. Peace out.